Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She's the director of Harmony Wealth Academy, no other than Miss Monica A. Kaufman. Welcome to Book 101, Miss Monica, and can you please introduce more about yourself?
So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm a financial advisor and a certified financial planner. I'm also a mom of two kids, and I have a passion. I realize that most Americans are technically not able to navigate the financial system, and that's part of the problem. We've also inherited and are acclimated to some patterns that don't serve us well. And I decided I wanted to do something about it. So that's what the Wealth Academy is about. It's designed to support you emotionally as you learn how to rewrite your patterns and go after your financial dreams. It's designed to support you emotionally and give you the education and the coaching you need so that you can build what you want.
Miss Monica A. Kaufman, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. So, what inspired you to become a financial advisor and coach?
Okay, so financial advisory, I started off, I did economic research initially, and then I worked with women business owners. And economic research didn't mean anything to the average person. It didn't change anybody's life. So at one point, when my kids first started school, I wound up taking a position, going through a training program at Merrill Lynch and learning how to become a financial advisor. So you get your licenses, and then I wound up getting my CFP. Took a little bit of time and did some angel investing work and some other consulting work, and then came right back into financial advisory. So that's what it takes to get started.
So, can you explain the difference between traditional financial advising and financial coaching?
Okay, so financial advice is about helping people to learn how and to manage their money. So once they have money to invest, it's about how to actually do that. Financial coaching is designed to help people learn how to manage their own stuff and their income so that they can build up the money to invest. That's the difference. In the education program, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you the tools and the skills and the confidence to manage this and to learn how to manage the money so that you can build up the wealth, but also learn how to build your team so that you can hire people like me that fit your needs and take your direction and do what you need them to do.
Certainly. Miss Monica, thank you so much for empowering us. So, what are some common misconceptions people have about financial advisory and coaching?
Okay, so one of the problems people have is that they don't understand that income is not the same thing as wealth. And so, in order to
True.
become financially free, okay, so I heard that. Think about your body, all right? So, you
Yes.
start off with function. Okay, there's 4 stages in physical fitness. Everything has to work together. Does everything work properly? Then, when they work well and they work together, you get to a place of health. And then when you're able to carry the load physically, that's fitness. Performance is when you're able to compete on that level. So that's a framework that I think everybody knows because we all go through that. We all learn how to walk. We all learn how to go from lying on our backs to rolling to sitting up to crawling to climbing to running. So that's natural. In money, it's the same way. So do all the different parts of your financial world work properly? Do they work together? You get to a point of health. Are you able to fund not just your bills, but also your goals? That's when you're at a point of fitness. And then performance is when you're at a point of financial freedom. So have you thought about what it would mean to be financially free?
Definitely.
Can you
For
give me your
sure.
definition of that? What would that look like?
For me, nothing to worry about my financial needs.
Okay. So my favorite definition is when work is optional. When you can do what you want to do, when I can do what I
Yes.
want to do, and I have enough wealth, paying me money so that it doesn't change my goals. And whether I work or whether I don't is optional. It's up to me. It's not done by necessity.
Totally
Okay.
agree.
So yeah, so that's the financial independence point. And in order to get there, you have to have wealth that generates income or value paying you whether you work or whether you don't.
Elon Musk, I read, I think the other day, said create more wealth because wealth make you more financially stable. Is that correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
In the
If you have,
definition itself.
yeah. And the way I look at this is that it's not a mystery, but you don't want to work forever. And so, but you still need to be able to meet your goals. So the more wealth you have, the more you defer gratification, take the money you've earned. And yes, you still need a roof over your head. Yes, you still need to get dressed and eat and take care of yourself. But if you can actually manage the way you spend your money, you can then turn around and invest it. But there's more to it. Part of the thing that I do with clients is we start off with some financial defenses. So we work on the mindset, what money is, what risk is, and then sort of uncovering the emotional lessons and habits that people have acquired around money. While they're doing that, we build defenses. So part of the defense idea is, what's your definition of resilience? Let's put it that way.
Well, to fib it from the setback.
Okay. So one of the favorite ways I've heard it described down here has been, you get knocked down 5 times, you get back up 6. So,
Yes.
but resilience is, in my mind, it's not the end of the day. So when you get knocked down, you need to be able to get up faster. What I want people to do is to build those defenses so that happens, so they don't get knocked down. And then as you develop more and more skills, and as your mind shifts to empower you and aligns with your goals, you can develop what we would call anti-fragility, where risk and situations that are difficult and challenging actually give you the opportunity. You have the skills and you have the confidence and you have the wherewithal to be able to take advantage of places where other people are deeply afraid and can't take the chance. So anti-fragility is when the stress makes you stronger.
Miss Monica, can you recommend a book of what we are talking about, that this same topic?
Okay, so the first book that I would recommend, and it really starts with this, is The Millionaire Mind by Stanley. So about 30 years ago, he published a book called The Millionaire Next Door, very famous.
Yes.
And The Millionaire Next Door was based on his research as an academic into who were the millionaires. And what he found was that they were the ones who made money but didn't spend it. They didn't waste it. And he found a set of patterns for it. And then later he went back and expanded on what was the mindset, the thought pattern, the window on money and life that allowed them to be so financially successful. And that's the Millionaire Mind.
Totally agree. Miss Monica, what is the most challenges your clients face and how to help them overcome it?
The big issue is they know that something isn't right. That's why they come to me. They know that there's an issue. It's a question of shifting not just how they think, but how they feel, and then staying on track as they acquire it. It's a confidence thing. And as we work through time, they start to see themselves pulling it together and they feel the shift in how they see money and they see themselves. And that makes the difference. It becomes a positive biofeedback loop. The important thing is not to stay stuck. It's to just start. I had it. The Millionaire Mind.
Highly recommended.
Love this book. Love the work.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
Miss Monica, what financial habits do you believe are critical for building lasting wealth?
Lasting wealth. I think it starts with, first off, understanding it's nothing more than a tool. Money is nothing more than a tool in your hands. So think about it this way. Were you afraid of your computer when you first got one?
Yes.
Okay. But
You're
did
praise.
you learn how to master it? Did you learn how to use it, right?
True.
Okay.
There's a-
So, right. So there's nothing here you can't master, but understand it's a set of tools. Okay. That's it.
that's it. I
Understand.
got it.
So really, that's the first part. And then the second part is one of the things you're going to have to understand is that as you shift, you're going to have to shift how you interact with other people because you're going to discover that either people are going to support your changes or they are not. And it doesn't mean that they're bad, it just means that they're not ready. And so how you manage that is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let me give you an example. There was a young guy that I was mentoring at one point, and he was looking to get married. He got engaged, and he and his now wife wanted to buy their first house. And he looked at me and said, "How do we get to the point where we have enough money for the down payment?" And I said, "Well, where are you spending your money?" And he said, "Well, there was an issue with they were going out on the weekends with their friends." And I said, "What if you were to take one of those days every week? If they're all in the same place, figure out what if you were to take one of those days on the weekend and instead of going to a restaurant or a bar, go to one of the houses or one of the apartments and just take turns. And everybody brings something to contribute to the dinner." And he looked at me and I said, "What if you were to do that? And instead of spending as much, you then put that money aside for the down payment?" And apparently everybody did and made the shift and it worked.
Miss Monica, what advice would you give to someone who feels stuck in their current financial situation?
Okay, so you're not stuck. You are not a plant. You can get up and move. I want you to understand that everybody falls. The question is, how quickly do you get back up again? All right. You can learn. It does not mean that you can't recover. There is nothing here you cannot recover from. While you're alive, there's hope. So just start small. Start small. Like, for example, I had someone many years ago who realized he had an issue. And so every morning, when he first got up in the morning, he checked his credit score and he checked his bank account. And
Mm.
just looking at it every day stopped him from overspending. And he saw over time the gradual improvement in his credit score because he was aware of when his bills were going to be paid and he was aware of how much was in the account. And so just by finding out where the issue was, he was able to make that change. The second thing that I would say to them is that as long as you're employed and there are benefits offered, use them to the best of your ability. Learn to master those. They're there for you and they can make a huge difference.
Certainly. How do you stay updated on changing financial trends and advise your clients accordingly?
Um, it's a constant day-to-day commitment. I can't do it all at once. I have to do it on a daily basis and constantly learn. And some of it's fun, like when I have to do CE for a license, which I just had to do, that can actually be fun to do because I get to learn something new. And so it becomes a constant case of improvement. The industry changes, the markets change, the economy changes, and if you don't keep up, you're done.
Miss Monica, what would be your short-term and long-term goals as a director or as a coach?
My goals are to get the program out to more people. My goal is also to shift and reconfigure. There's a part of the program that we're going to be releasing for young adults because we know that young adults are deeply concerned and would like to be able to do that. My goals are to get that out and to also get that out within about a year or so in an app format so that you can actually do some of the behavior modification management, some of the tracking of your behaviors and your actions and your feelings on your phone and do it as an app.
Looking forward for that, and I hope it will materialize and empower people all over the world. What is the biggest
Thank you.
financial mistake you see people repeatedly making?
I think two things. One, they don't learn from their mistakes, whatever the mistakes are, so they repeat them over and over again. The second thing is I've seen people in their 50s realize they didn't have enough money to retire and do a total 180 and course correct
True.
and get to the point where they can be okay when they do retire in their late 60s. What is tragic is when you see people chronically overspend and then they hit a hard wall when they're in their late 60s or early 70s, and for whatever reason they can't work and there's a money shortfall. So really truly take the time, use it to build. Use it to build out your future, the future you want.
Starting
Just start
now.
today. Start now. In a real sense, the way I look at it is the only thing in life you truly have are your mistakes because you learn from them. So as long as
Mm,
you learn, you don't lose. And as long as you don't quit, you don't lose. So you keep playing until you win.
true. Try and try until you succeed and don't afraid to fail. Because those failure,
Exactly.
yes, give you lesson and you need to learn from this failure. Do you have a particular philosophy or methodology that guides your financial coaching practice?
My approach to this is a combination of several different ones. I look at the research and say, okay, this is the difference. These are the commonalities on what the financially successful believe and how they act. I also take a behaviorist approach, pattern after the Beck School of Psychology from University of Pennsylvania. And the best way that I would look at that is that it's behaviorist. It's shifting how you think to shift and reframe how you feel about a situation, and then that shifts how you act. So it gives you the
Mm.
psychological support to live the changes you need to live.
What's one financial principle or piece of advice you wish everyone understood better?
Okay, so in the United States, you have a 70% chance of having what's called a disability event, where through no fault of your own, you're sick or you're injured and you won't be able to work. And that's a fact of life. So the question is, if you are working for someone else because you need the job and they have something called disability insurance, it is extraordinarily affordable, usually, if it's done correctly, and it usually can replace a significant portion of your income. And let's put it this way, if you're sick, if you're ill, the last thing on earth you need is to worry about money stress. If you've replaced your income on an after-tax basis and you don't have to worry about that, you can focus on getting better. So
Yes.
if you're still working for someone else, if you still have a job and you need to work and you need the income, the first benefit, especially in the US, I want people to sign up for, if it's available, is long-term disability through work. It's usually
Yes.
very, very, very shockingly affordable.
I think here in Canada too, they're offering that
Okay,
one. So
perfect.
grab it. Grab it, people. It's help
Well,
you.
let's put it this way. I'm not licensed for Canada, so I can't advise people on Canada or coach on Canada, but on the mindset's
America.
universal. However, the financial pieces and education component is for here. And I'm relieved to hear that Canada offers that disability insurance is available. So is it
Yes.
very affordable there?
Yes, indeed. People
Perfect.
grab
Go
it
for it.
because it help you in
Good.
the long run. Are there
Yeah.
certain financial myths or misconceptions that you regularly debunk with your clients?
So one of the things I tell people is an investment is not something you're using, it's something that pays you.
Mm,
So, for example, one of the things that my mother's era grew up with was that your home is your biggest investment. No, the home is the roof over my head. I'm not using it to make me money. I still need to live somewhere. So that's number one. And that also travels into other things. I've heard people say, well, a purse is an investment. No, it's a lovely purse. Now, there are some people for whom that's part of the uniform of what they need to make money. And I understand that and respect that. But if that's not part of your world, tell me how the purchase actually is an investment. It has to be part of something that pays you. Now, I have no problems with people spending money when they can afford it and they're meeting their goals. That's not the problem. The problem is you have to shift and think about what an investment is and what it isn't.
So before we wrap up our discussion today, Ms. Monica, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, in its fifth season, people, fifth season, with Chef Alessandro, one of the specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. Please do listen to our latest episode. We are reading our letter senders all over the world. So please do listen, Food 101, wherever you listen your podcast. Miss Monica, for someone considering working with a financial coach or advisor, what qualities should they look for?
I would argue that you want somebody who's licensed, but you also, as an advisor, but you also want somebody who understands you and is going to take the time to help you figure out where the block is and move forward. Okay. Is this the program? It's like for weight loss. There are a variety of different options for people to investigate with weight loss. You have to find the program that's going to work for you. Or physical fitness. The physical fitness program that's best for you is the one you're going to do responsibly enough times, a week to make an impact. Same thing with this. Find the fit. I will say one big warning. People like to go to the financial advisor or the financial coach that they know, like, and trust. However, there's a problem with that, or you're getting a referral for that. You need to deal with somebody who's going to give you the truth and honesty. And chances are the people around you may not actually be able to assess whether or not somebody is good or not. So you really have to do your research and listen and ask them, what do you bring to the table? How do you approach all this? With financial coaching, most of it centers around, most people do only budget. And that's a big issue, but that's not the whole issue. And so they really need to be able to coach you on a lot of other things beyond how you spend your money. Fair enough?
Fair enough, Miss Monica. Monica A. Kaufman, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. And of course, I recommending The Millionaire Mind by Thomas J. Stanley. So can you please invite our listeners to support your projects as well as your academy?
Okay. I would love to. I would love to have people come and visit the Academy website, and I appreciate this. Thank you.
No worries. So we're looking for the app. Can you tell us more about that thing, Miss Monica?
It has not been built yet. We have the material, but we are investigating it. So I will let you know, to be determined, when that will be released.
Looking forward for that. Yes, people, let's support Miss Monica A. Kaufman, because if you support her, more and more and more coaching to come. And of course, looking forward for the app. So Miss Monica, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Monica, people, see you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.